That little brown bottle sitting in your medicine cabinet? Exterminators really don't want you to know what it can do. Because if you knew, you'd stop calling them. Every single year, homeowners in this country spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars on pest control services, roach treatments, ant baiting, quarterly maintenance plans that somehow never actually end. They just renew and renew and renew, year after year. And most people never stop to ask why the same company keeps coming back for the same problem. And most of it, could be handled with a $2 bottle of 3% hydrogen peroxide sitting right there on your bathroom shelf the entire time, completely unused. I want to be upfront with you before we get into this. This isn't about some miracle cure that replaces every professional service on Earth. There are serious infestations, structural termite damage, advanced bedbug situations that have spread through an entire building, where you genuinely need a licensed professional, and there's no shortcut around that. No home remedy is going to save a house with a compromised foundation. But the everyday stuff? The stuff that makes up probably 80% of the calls pest control companies actually get? That's a completely different story. So today we're going over 9 things exterminators hope you never sit down and figure out. 9 ways hydrogen peroxide can wreck an infestation before it starts, save you serious money, and honestly, do a better job than half the sprays they're charging you for under fluorescent lights at your local hardware store. Stick around, because number 7 is the one that actually shocked me when I tested it myself. I genuinely didn't expect it to work at all. And stay to the end, because I've got a bonus tip after nearly every single one of these that most people online completely skip over. Let's start with number 1. Number 1, it kills roaches on contact. And it's not even close. Cockroaches are one of the biggest reasons people call an exterminator in the first place, and honestly, one of the most stubborn pests to deal with once they've established themselves somewhere in your walls. A standard professional spray visit runs anywhere from $100 to $300, and that's just for one single visit. Most companies won't even quote you a one-time treatment anymore. They want you locked into a quarterly contract, 4 visits a year, whether you still have a problem or not, whether you see a single roach after month 1 or not. Here's what they don't tell you. Mix equal parts hydrogen peroxide and water in a spray bottle. No complicated dilution ratio to memorize, just 50-50, straight down the middle, simple enough that you'll remember it without writing it down. Spray it directly on roaches when you see them scurry out, and spray it along baseboards, under the sink, behind the fridge, anywhere you've spotted droppings or noticed activity at night when you flip on the kitchen light. The peroxide breaks down their exoskeleton and disrupts their respiratory system almost instantly on contact. It's not poison in the traditional sense, it's oxidation, and roaches, for all their resilience, for all the reputation they've earned as basically indestructible, have absolutely no defense against that. Do this every few days for about 2 weeks, and you'll see the activity drop off dramatically, usually within the first few days if you're consistent about it. And unlike commercial roach spray, there's no lingering chemical residue you're breathing in every time you walk through your kitchen at 2 in the morning for a glass of water. No headache, no chemical smell clinging to your counters, just a clean kill and a clean space afterward. Quick bonus tip here. If you've got a particularly stubborn spot, maybe behind the stove where you can't easily reach with a spray bottle, soak a cotton ball in straight hydrogen peroxide and tuck it back there instead. It'll keep working passively for days without you needing to spray that area repeatedly. Number 2. It disrupts ant trails so they stop coming back for good. Ants are tricky because killing the ones you see accomplishes almost nothing in the long run. The colony just sends more scouts, more workers, and within a day, you're right back where you started. watching a fresh line march across your counter like nothing happened. Exterminators know this better than anyone, which is exactly why they sell you follow-up visits instead of addressing the actual source of the problem. Hydrogen peroxide works completely differently from a surface spray. Ants navigate using pheromone trails, basically an invisible scent map that tells the entire colony exactly where the food is and how to get back to it safely. Wipe down the trail with straight hydrogen peroxide on a cloth or paper towel, and you erase that scent map entirely, like wiping a whiteboard clean. The ants that were already out foraging become disoriented and wander aimlessly, and the ones back at the colony stop receiving any directions at all. For an extra push, and this is the part I really want you to try, mix hydrogen peroxide with a small amount of sugar and borax near the trail, not directly on the ants themselves. The ants carry the mixture back to the colony on their own, thinking it's food, and it takes out the source instead of just the scouts wandering your countertop. This is the part exterminators really don't want spreading around online, because a $5 bottle solving a full colony problem means zero repeat business for them, no quarterly contract, no follow-up call. Number 3. It gets rid of fruit flies in under 24 hours, sometimes less than that. Fruit flies are far less dangerous than roaches or ants, sure, but they multiply so fast, it genuinely feels like an infestation happened overnight while you were sleeping, going from 0 to a small cloud hovering over your fruit bowl. And plenty of people actually pay a pest control company just for a fruit fly problem, which still surprises me every time I hear it, because the fix is embarrassingly simple and cheap. Pour about a ½ inch of hydrogen peroxide into a shallow bowl or a small jar. Add a few drops of dish soap, and leave it uncovered near the problem area, usually your fruit bowl, a trash can, or a drain that's been slow to clear. The peroxide attracts them just like standard fruit fly traps do, but the soap is the real trick. It breaks the surface tension, so once they land, they can't escape and fly back off like they would with plain water. Within a single day, you'll notice the swarm cutting down to almost nothing, and by day 2, most people report it's completely gone. Bonus tip on this one: if the flies keep coming back, even after the trap works, check your kitchen drain. Fruit fly larvae love the gunk that builds up inside drains, and a pour of hydrogen peroxide straight down there once a week keeps them from ever getting established in the first place. Number 4. It stops silverfish before they destroy your books, photos, and storage boxes. Silverfish are sneaky little creatures. You don't usually see them scurrying around in the open. You just find little holes chewed clean through paper, cardboard, or the corner of a book you haven't opened in months, sometimes years. They absolutely love damp, dark spaces, closets, basements, the cabinet under your bathroom sink, anywhere moisture tends to sit still and undisturbed. Spray a light mist of hydrogen peroxide directly in those areas: corners of closets, cardboard boxes you've got stored away, bathroom cabinets, that dark space behind the water heater nobody ever checks. It kills silverfish on contact, and just as important, it helps control the humidity-loving mold and mildew that silverfish are drawn to in the first place. Most silverfish infestations actually trace back to an underlying moisture problem you haven't noticed yet, so this one step handles both the bugs themselves and the root cause that's been quietly attracting them all along. Number 5. It's a spider deterrent that actually works, without harming them if you'd rather not. Some people don't want to kill spiders outright. They just want them gone from specific rooms. And honestly, that's a completely fair position to take. Spiders do eat other bugs. They're not entirely the enemy here. Some people even consider them helpful. But if they're setting up webs in the corner of your bedroom or above your front door where guests have to duck under a web every time they visit, that's a different story and a fair line to draw. Spray a diluted hydrogen peroxide mix, 1 part peroxide to 2 parts water, along window frames, doorways, and any corners where you've noticed webs forming repeatedly. Spiders dislike both the scent and the residue it leaves behind, and they'll relocate away from treated areas entirely without you having to squash a single one. Reapply about once a week for the first month until the webs completely stop reappearing. Then you can taper off to an occasional touch-up whenever you notice a new one starting. Number 6. It kills bedbug eggs, not just the adults you can actually see. This is the one that really separates hydrogen peroxide from most home remedies people try in a panic at 2 a.m. after finding a bite they can't explain. Most things people reach for on bedbugs, tea tree oil, rubbing alcohol, straight vinegar, they might kill the adults you spot crawling across the mattress seam. But bedbug eggs are protected by a tough outer coating specifically built to resist exactly that kind of surface treatment, which is why so many people feel like they've solved the problem, only to have it come roaring back weeks later. Hydrogen peroxide, at full strength, actually breaks down that protective egg coating through oxidation, which is fundamentally different from just drying them out or suffocating them the way most remedies attempt to. Spray it directly on mattress seams, bed frame joints, the little grooves in your headboard, and baseboards near the bed. I want to be honest with you here. It won't replace a full professional heat treatment if you've got a serious, established bedbug infestation spreading through multiple rooms. Exterminators genuinely aren't lying to you about that part. But for early-stage problems, or as a prevention step right after traveling and unpacking a suitcase you're not fully trusting yet, it's one of the only over-the-counter options that actually reaches and damages the eggs, not just the visible adults wandering around. Number 7. It keeps rodents from ever wanting to come back. And here's the part that genuinely shocked me. I'll be honest, I didn't expect this one to work at all when I first tried it myself. I was fairly skeptical going in. Mice and rats have an incredibly sensitive sense of smell, dramatically more sensitive than ours, and hydrogen peroxide has a sharp, almost antiseptic scent that rodents find overwhelming and, more importantly, threatening. Like a predator's been through the space recently and marked it. Soak cotton balls in hydrogen peroxide and place them near entry points, under appliances, along the wall where you've noticed droppings, near any gap where cables, pipes, or vents enter the house from outside. It won't kill the rodents. I want to be clear about that up front. It's a deterrent, not an extermination method, but it disrupts their scent trail and makes the space feel genuinely unsafe to them, which is often enough on its own to send them looking for easier real estate elsewhere. Combine this with actually sealing the entry points using steel wool, which rodents can't chew through the way they can chew through caulk or foam, and you've got a full deterrent system that costs about $4 total, not $400. Number 8. It clears out wasp and hornet nests without a single professional call. Exterminators charge a serious premium for wasp nest removal, sometimes $150 or more for one single nest, because most people are, understandably, terrified of getting anywhere near an active one. And that fear is completely fair. Nobody wants to get swarmed and stung dealing with a nest that's still active and defended by dozens of wasps at once. Here's the safer approach, and timing matters more than anything else with this one. At night, when wasps are dormant and far less reactive to disturbance, fill a spray bottle with straight, undiluted hydrogen peroxide and spray the nest thoroughly from as safe a distance as you can manage. Then step back immediately and leave the area without lingering. The peroxide penetrates the nest material and disrupts the wasps inside without you needing to get close enough to provoke them into swarming. Give it a full 24 hours before you even think about knocking the nest down or getting anywhere near it again. And always, always do this at night. Never during the day when they're active, alert, and genuinely aggressive if disturbed even slightly. Number 9. It protects your garden from soil-dwelling pests without wrecking the plants you're trying to grow. This last one isn't about your house at all. It's about everything you're growing right outside it. Root aphids, fungus gnats, and other soil-dwelling pests thrive specifically in overly wet, poorly aerated soil, the kind that sits soggy for days after every watering. A diluted hydrogen peroxide solution, 1 part peroxide to 8 parts water, poured directly into the soil around affected plants, kills off those pests while actually oxygenating the root zone at the very same time, which most pesticides can't claim to do at all. Most chemical pesticides you'd reach for in soil leave a residue behind that affects whatever you're growing, which matters a lot more if it's something you're planning to eat off your own kitchen table in a few weeks. Hydrogen peroxide breaks down into just water and oxygen once it's done its job, so there's no residue left lingering in the soil, and plenty of gardeners actually report their plants growing more vigorously in the weeks right after treatment, likely from that extra oxygen reaching the roots directly. So there you have it. 9 things the pest control industry would honestly rather you never sat down and learned, all in one place. Not because hydrogen peroxide is some magic cure-all that fixes absolutely everything. There are serious infestations, especially involving termites or advanced spreading bedbug situations, where you genuinely do still need a licensed professional, and no amount of home remedy changes that reality. But for the everyday stuff, the roaches under your sink, the ants marching across your counter every summer, the fruit flies you can't seem to shake no matter what you try, a $2 bottle from the drugstore is quietly doing work that companies want to charge you hundreds of dollars for, year after year, without you ever needing to make that call. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Which one of these 9 surprised you the most? Was it the roaches, the bedbug eggs, or was it that rodent trick at number 7 that genuinely caught me off guard too? Have you already tried hydrogen peroxide on a pest problem in your own home, and did it work as well as you were hoping it would? Or is there a stubborn infestation going on right now that none of this has managed to touch yet? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely read every single one of them. And if this saved you a call to the exterminator, or even just saved you from buying another can of spray that barely works and smells up the whole house, do me a favor. Like the video, share it with somebody who's been dealing with bugs they just can't shake, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.